All right, a pleasant good afternoon to you and yours, and welcome to Daytona Stadium, Larry Kelly Field. Alan Slaughterzinski with you for the final Fort Pierce Bengal game of the season. Today, their season was not quite good enough to reach the championship game, but it was good enough to pick up an extra game, and that game is the Sponsor Bowl. And today they'll be playing the Central Florida Blue Devils out of Orlando. Of course, what a year the Bengals had back. They were 5-4-1. They're taking on the Blue Devils, who were 4-6-0. Now, not all of the Fort Pierce Bengals made the trip. They've got just 22 on the field here today. So, obviously, as the game progresses, Antoine Edgecombe is here. And, of course, Antoine was a candidate, and I have to see who won, for I believe Offensive Player of the Year. The Bengals were a nominee for Organization of the Year. Big Meech, John Chandler, with an outstanding job for Fort Pierce this season. Caleb Brown is here producing as we are about 10 stories high atop Larry Kelly Field, home of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and various other high schools in the area that play high school football here. An old racetrack, you can kind of see, I believe this was a dirt track, you can kind of see the tops of the stretches here around the corners where it's still all grass, but this is an old racetrack, and of course over in the distance, the world's super speedway, Daytona, as we get set to kick. It'll be Michael James putting toe to leather. That's not Michael, because he's not big enough to be Michael. So we'll see who's kicking off. Again, there's a lot on the roster, but just 22 players I saw dressed warming up. Bengals are in their black jerseys with white pants. The Blue Devils in the white jerseys with the blue pants and the blue helmets. The Bengals wearing the tiger white helmets. And this is a kick that will be fielded at the 25 by number 11. And I got no idea who it is because he ain't on my roster. As the Blue Devils come out, they'll take over 1st and 10. Championship game of the FCFL is coming up. Won't be here on Brevard Sports Network, but the FCFL championship game's coming up. It'll be the Polk County Rise and the Daytona Broncos will be looking to go back to back. And your quarterback is a familiar name to those of you in Brevard County. It's number 16, Matt Parsons. Parsons, of course, spent time as the quarterback for, is that Matt? That's not Matt. The name on the roster is Matt Parsons. So anyway, 16, Matt Parsons. Quarterback takes the snap and hands off to number 22, which is Marcus Clevero, the running back, and Clevero will pick up 4. And in on the stop, that number 34, John Tucker, in on the stop to bring up 2nd and 7 for the Blue Devils. Just underway here, 14:27 to play in the opening quarter. Again, the number I have is Parsons. It's for 16. Could be a different Matt Parsons, too. Quarterback drops back, looks, fires, out pass, and hauled in. It'll be short of a first down. Hauled in by Darion Robinson. He is pushed out of bounds by Harold Miller. And it'll be 3rd and about 3 for Central Florida. The coaches are Sean Simmons, Lindsey Reeves, Jose Rodriguez Jr., as well as Edgar Van Wimberly, Christian Haynes, and Lane Morey, your coaches. 3rd and 3. The Bengals show blitz. They bring it off the edge. Nice pickup, but up the middle is where the Bengals will get the blitz as Zay Scott comes in and dumps the quarterback. And it'll be 4th down and 9. The running back, Clevero, stayed in. He couldn't block them both. And he chose to pick up the outside blitz, and coming straight up the gut on a swim move was Zay Scott, and he got the sack. So that Bengals defense, which has been outstanding all year, forces a 3-and-out. And my guy, Speedy Knowles, back deep, way deep. Good kick. Knowles fields it at the 30, and down he goes. Up he comes. Knowles cuts back with a move, and he's got blockers in front. Knowles hit the 50, 45, 40, cuts back again down to the 30. Still on his feet. Look at Speedy go, and Speedy Knowles with the most improbable punt return. Touchdown, Bengals. Huh? No touchdown? Oh, they say he stepped out. Oh, man, you got to give it to him. What a run by Speedy Knowles. Thought he had it.
Someone said I thought Parsons was in the arena league.
Yeah, I don't know. He's listed on this roster, so if anybody knows who number 16 is, let me know. Good play there by Knowles, who fielded it. He fell down and then got up and reverse field, and he had great blockers in front. Knowles followed him down the sidelines. First and goal for the Bengals from the 15-yard line. Antoine Edgecombe and that familiar one-back double wide receiver set the Bengals like to run. Turns, gives the Storch to Smith. Smith cuts back inside. Good play by that Blue Devil defense. No gain, 2nd and 10 coming up. Second and 10 now. Edgecombe with Smith. Blue Devils show blitz. They throw flags. We're going to get a false start on Fort Pierce, and that'll back them up 5 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 15 now. First quarter sponsored by Pool Boy Mafia. You got a swimming pool, in ground, above ground, need equipment, need one built. Pool Boy Mafia, 386-523-8162. Throws, intercepted by Matt Light. So an interception by Matt Light right here near the pylon, the front right pylon. And the ball was a little underthrown by Edgecombe. And 1st and 10 now from the 20. The Blue Devils will take back over. So Speedy Knowles' punt return goes for naught as Edgecombe throws an interception. Often this season what we've seen from Antoine is a slow start. Now there was a game or two where he hit a touchdown pass early, but for the most part it's a slow start, and then we see him just absolutely come on, making throw after throw as the game progresses. So nothing out of the ordinary there on this opening drive. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Quarterback in the gun. The running back is Marquise Clevereau. A 3-down lineman set, and the ball's out, and the quarterback just falls on. He's going to lose 5 yards, and actually more than that. Try 7. It'll be 2nd and 17 now for the Blue Devils. The championship game's coming up after this here. If you're local and want to come check it out, the Daytona Broncos, the local team, are looking for their 2nd straight FCFL championship, and they're going to look. They were the 2 seed coming in. They defeated the 10-0 Bulls in the conference championship game to get to this point, and the Bengals show blitz. They back off. Actually, they don't. They come with it. Quarterback's out. Is the ball out too? No, it's not. The blitz works, and coming off of that edge again, that's going to be a sack. And I believe, again, that time, I believe that's Rodney Matthew with the sack. And Matthew gets the sack, and now it's third and back to Orlando for a first down. All right, let's get rid of all these. So third and forever. And I do mean forever. Quarterback, he drops the ball, and it's recovered at the 1 yard line. But the referee is going to say, what's he calling here?
I think he might be down by contact. The Bengals player.
Well, is it a turnover or not? Yeah, it looks like it's a turnover. So a sack fumble, and the Bengals look like they're going to take over at the 1 yard line. So the Bengals now with an opportunity to make amends for the earlier turnover. This defense, as it's done all year, opportunistic, getting a turnover, and they will now have first and goal from about as close as you could hope to ever take over at the 1. That ball is even inside the 2-point line.
First down goal from the 1 yard line.
So first and goal from the 1. You can zoom in a little more, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Up the gut, Edgecombe, flag flies, and the signal is touchdown, offsides, and it's going to stand. And Antoine Edgecombe scores the first Fort Pierce Bengal touchdown of the sponsor bowl, and pending the extra point, lead it 6-0. Yeah, I mean, you got to be better than that, okay? And let's see if they go. Why not go for 2? It's a sponsor bowl, right? Let's just go for 2 every time. I don't see where the Blue Devils look like they're going to pose a threat. Offensively, they got a pretty good defense to start so far. So they're going to go for 2, it looks like. Edgecombe with Storcher Smith, or behind him. Is he in? Nope. They say no. With 9:28 to play in the first. Pot. Points off turnovers. The Bengals recover a fumble. And Antoine Edgecombe cashes in on a quarterback sneak. The extra point no good. 6-0. Back with the kickoff in a moment. Kicking off is either Javon Brown or Storcher Smith, one of the two, 20-something. And that's a much better kick. This ball will bounce. Picked up and out across the 30 is Tyler Jones. And this is where the Blue Devils will take over. Now, I haven't seen anything wrong with the snaps. Not quite sure why the quarterback's not hanging on to the football. So, First and 10 now for the Blue Devils from their own 31.
Ball at the 31-yard line.
That's big number 95 up front, Deion Swales. 4 down linemen, flags fly. What is this? Is it delay a game?
Flag on the field.
Substitution.
Illegal substitution, says Caleb. And it'll be first and 15. And thus far, Central Florida has been playing well behind the sticks here in the first quarter. The Blue Devils of Central Florida are going against the Bengals of Fort Pierce. Live from the home of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, the alma mater for Alex Goins. Outside, good stop by Tommy Mitchell. And that'll be another loss. And it'll be second down and about 18 now. For those of you watching from Fort Pierce in Central Florida, want to know who Alex Goins is? Cocoa City Councilman in good old Brevard County. Good friend of the network. Second and about 18 now for the quarterback. And, oh my goodness. And that pass is behind Sheldon Pratt. And it'll be third and 18. But I'm here to tell you right now, listen, Tommy Mitchell came off the edge so fast that pass had to be thrown when it got thrown. And that's why it was behind his intended target. So it's third and forever again. 8:17 to play in the opening quarter. 2 turnovers and a touchdown in this one. An Antoine Edgecombe interception, a quarterback fumble by the Blue Devils quarterback fumble, recovered by Fort Pierce on the one, and then Edgecombe would cash in. Quarterback drops back to throw, pressure, the out pass, and off the hands of the intended wide receiver. There is a flag down. It is going to be against Central Florida, and it should be declined, bringing up 4th and 18. And if that's all the case, Speedy Knowles will likely get his shot again. Too stiff. Loosen up a little, okay? Hey, you know another thing you can do? You can get a little hole. Put it in that hole. And that's easier. So on the punt is Gildardo Mata. And Knowles is back deep, this time standing at his own 40. And I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Bounces at the 45 and picked up at the 50. And that is retrieved by Javon Brown. He'll immediately get touched up out of bounds. And that's where Edgecombe and the Bengals offense will reclaim their offensive possession. Dead on the 50. This is usually about the time we start seeing a jet sweep here to either Mitchell or Knowles. Let's see what Big Meech and his offensive guys have up their sleeves for this drive. Play number 1 coming up. And the gun, Storches Smith to the right, doubles Mitchell in motion. And we got flags. And the white hat says a false start. So now it'll be 1st and 15. Mitchell in motion again. Edgecombe drops back to throw. Down the field, wide open across the middle. Caught by Deontay Gray. Nice pitch and catch, and that is more than enough. The 19 yards for a first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 36 for the Bengals. Edgecombe with an out pass, caught, hauled, but immediately there on the stop is Tyrod Hutcherson, and that'll be a loss of 4, so it'll be 2nd and 14 now. So Edgecombe and Smith, Mitchell, and Knowles in the slot. Deontay Gray split wide. Edgecombe goes deep. Open, caught, touchdown, Fort Pierce. Nope. Did they say he's out or in? Did they say he stepped out?
The center officials is like standing at that.
He does. He steps out at the 2. So there's your second touchdown call that didn't happen. Tommy Mitchell with a beautiful strike from Antoine Edgecombe. That's as pretty a ball as we've seen Antoine throw all year. And it's 1st and goal once again for Fort Pierce. I just like saying, touchdown Bengals. This time from the 3, 1st and goal from the 3, but I can't tell. I mean, you might as well put me on top of the Empire State Building. I can't see anything up here. Storches Smith cuts back, and he is brought down immediately by Iberi Ohio. And it'll be 2nd and goal now for Fort Pierce. Was it Webb or Mitchell? Was it 14 or 10?
I couldn't see on the other side of that field.
Okay. Well, I'm glad they didn't score then. Cam Webb, says somebody on the feed. Yeah, it would be Webb. Webb split wide right, so my apologies, Cam. So 2 backs in the backfield. The other back this time. It doesn't matter. Edgecombe throws wide open, caught, touchdown. Speedy Knowles on the out pass out of the slot. Knowles gets his touchdown. And with 4:54 to play, the Edgecombe to Knowles connection hooks up for a touchdown pass of 5 yards. Set up by a Edgecombe to Cam Webb. 35 yards, or 33 yards strike to be specific. And they'll go for 2 as Knowles and Webb on the right and Mitchell on the left. This time to give us the nice hole. Storches Smith in for the deuce. And with 4:54 to play in the first, the Fort Pierce Bengals have stormed out to a 14-0 lead. And Amanda Edgecombe likes what she sees from nephew. And why wouldn't you? That's for sure. I'd like to say hello to Miss Amanda and everybody else watching. Lori Hosh, Bezzy Thomas, Bezzy watching. Let me know that was Cam Webb, and I appreciate that because it was. We got flags for some reason. So easy peasy lemon squeezy for Fort Pierce. 2 possessions And 2 touchdowns. And for some reason,
They do the flag. I didn't see what the flag was.
well, it was a big one because that's a 15-yard penalty. Because they're going to kick off now from their own 10 or 20 instead of the 35. I got this one. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but it was a 15-yarder.
Not everyone was on the field for the Bengals when they threw that flag.
Well, I think it came from the sidelines. That ball will be scooped up at the 40. Oh, nice hit, but he bounces off, and he actually loses yardage on the return. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Central Florida, who, quite honestly, has got to get something going here. I mean, they have done nothing offensively. In fact, they have minus yards on the day. Here at Larry Kelly Field, home of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Quarterback comes back out. Central Florida in white with the blue pants and the blue helmets, and the Bengals in those pretty white tiger helmets with the black jerseys and the white pants. That's my favorite uniform combo. Looked offsides, but was not. Great play by number 77, Selma Jerome Jr. And I'll tell you what, he got in there about as fast as I've ever seen a big man get off the line of scrimmage. And it's 2nd down and 8 now. And every second down opportunity of the game thus far for the Blue Devils, with the exception of one, they've lost yards on. And the Bengals show that blitz again, coming from the middle. This time they don't bring it. The running back tries to get outside. He does. Nice block. He tiptoes out across the 50. Close. He has. Looks like the ball will be spotted, and that will be, if it is, the first Blue Devil first down of the game, and it'll be 1st and 10. And for the first time today, the Blue Devils will have the ball in Fort Pierce Bengal territory. 1st and 10 at the 48. 3:43 to play in the opening quarter. 14-0.
Not to mention that's the first down they picked up all day.
Yeah, the first down. I jinxed it. For the Bengals defense. I just keep my mouth shut from now on. 1st and 10. Quarterback turns, gives, and nowhere to go that time. No gain in there that time. Turn around, young man, so I can give you your due. Number 12 on the stop, and that is Rodney Matthew, who has had a great season defensively for these Fort Pierce Bengals. Him, John Tucker, number 56, Greg Goodman up front, Tommy Johnson, all of them. This has been a really good defense this year. 48-yard line of the Bengals, 2nd and 10. Quarterback drops back, throws the out pass, caught, and immediately the Fort Pierce Bengals are in on the stop, led by Harold Miller and number 25, Javon Brown. So it'll be 3rd down and 9. We got play clocks too. I forgot about that. 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. All Fort Pierce. 14-0, 3rd and 9 here. This is obviously 4-down territory. And quick handoff and a gain of about 5, but it'll be 4 short of the first. It'll be 4th and about 5 or 4. We'll call it a long 5. We'll call it a long 4, short 5. So it'll be 4th and 5. Actually, it is 5. 4th and 5 from the 43. And right back to the line is there. They show punt. I ain't buying it. I don't know why you would punt from here. in the sponsor bowl. Speedy Knowles is now standing at his 10. What a run back he had earlier in this one. Nearly scored. And they do punt. It's a line drive shot that's going to roll out of bounds at about the 13. So Edgecombe and the offense will take over 1st and 10 with 1:08 to play. We want to thank Pool Boy Mafia for their sponsorship all year of the Fort Pierce Bengals. So the ball be placed right at the 15-yard line. Goes the football. Here, let me get out of your way, man. Bring yourself over here. Center up. Here's the other thing. If you don't need the table, then let me know. Referee blows this. It'll be 1st and 15 now. 1:05 to play. He says wind the clock. Clock is going. Edgecombe now. This is the first time we've seen the eye set. Quick pitch to Storches Smith. Lead block out in front, but it won't matter because that's good pursuit by that defense. And it'll be 2nd and 15 now. And the play clock's at 37. The game clock's at 42, so they'll have to run at least one more play here in the first quarter. And back to the line of scrimmage, Edgecombe goes. Actually, he goes back to the gun. Smith to his right. 4 wide receivers, trips to the left. Edgecombe, little wide receiver screen out to Knowles. Knowles has got blockers out front. Cuts back. Knowles across the 25-30. Knowles out across the 30 to the 35. Nice little pitch and catch. Good block out front by his lead. Blocks were his 2 receiver mates, and that is more than enough for a first down, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter with your score, the Fort Pierce Bengals 14 and the Central Florida Blue Devils nothing. All right, bring me back. All right, welcome back here. So it's 1st and 10 after the nice play from Edgecombe to Knowles at the 35. Whistles. Referees. They're going to call. Apparently, there was only 10 guys on the field for the Blue Devils. And Frank Ward, the safety, is not happy about that. This is a family show, so I cannot repeat what Frank said, but his teammates heard him. Been fun being your broadcaster this year for the Fort Pierce Bengals. Thanks for tuning in. Been a lot of fun. I hope Big Meech has us back next year. We'd love to do it again. And we'd love to do it in Fort Pierce at Khalil Mack Field. Don't know what the plans are for the Bengals next year in terms of, sometimes they'll go from one league to another. But listen, the FCFL was great this year. I mean, it was. And, let me just compliment Beach and the Bengals. And it was a lot of fun on Saturday nights. There is a jet sweep, and read it all day, did Central Florida. Mitchell will be stopped and for a loss of 1, so it'll be 2nd and 10. And I mean, Khalil Mack Field this year was a lot of fun on Saturday nights. And, we've done a lot of, minor league football, adult league football, semi-pro, whatever you want to call it. And I can tell you that the Fort Pierce Bengals this year, the best run organization we've seen, trouble-free. It was incredible. It was just a great year. So we thank Big Meech for that. Edgecombe, under pressure, steps out. Look at Edgecombe. Gets out, gets rid of the ball, throws wide open, caught. Storches Smith out of the backfield across the 40, 35, 30. Storches Smith still on his feet at the 20, 10, all the way down to the 5-yard line. Antoine Edgecombe and Storches Smith made that play happen. And that's a big one, as it'll be 1st and goal again. That's a 50-yard play. Storches Smith came out of the backfield. Edgecombe was wrapped up, all but sacked. And then Storches Smith somehow found an opening. Edgecombe hit him at the 50, and Smith gets all the way down to the 5, where for the 3rd time in the last 16 minutes, the Bengals will be 1st and goal unless we got a penalty here. And we do. It looks like we got a hold. What did he just call? No, I didn't see him either, but we got a hold that's being marked off from the 20. So it's either a hold or a face mask on Storcha, one of the two. But it is inside the Big Trouble Loyalty Bail Bonds. Well, no, it's not. It's at the 29. So ball's at the 29. But still a big play regardless of the penalty, whatever it was. 1st and 10. Definitely 4-down territory for Antoine now. Antoine looks under pressure, and he won't. Oh, he doesn't. I thought he got out of that. And in on the sack that time is Tyler Jones for the quarterback sack. There you hear the announcer saying that sack brought to you by hashtag Pool Boy Mafia. So following the sack, it'll be 2nd and about 18, 19. I'd like to thank Big Trouble Loyalty Bail Bonds. Here's hoping you never need them. But if you do, Big Trouble Loyalty Bail Bonds are the best. The information is there on the screen. I plead the 5th. Edgecombe with an out pass. Oh, that was dangerous. No, bounces off a hit. Bounces off another hit, but he won't bounce off a 4th hit. And that's going to be a flag. And that, well, let's see what the call is here. I'm not going to speculate. I'm going to wait for the white hat to tell me what that call was. A lot of flags in this one. Meech ain't happy with whatever. It's going to be a hold, so that's going to come back even further. So now, following the big play from Edgecombe to Storches Smith, the Bengals are going in the wrong direction here. I got to cheer for Polk County tonight. I mean, I've seen them twice this year. You know what I mean? I've seen the Broncos once, but I mean, I gotta cheer for Polk County. I mean, nothing against the Broncos. They won a championship last year, but I met some of the guys from Polk County. I like them. I like their fans when their fans watch. Oh, the Blue Devils declined the holding penalty, so it's now 3rd and 23, 4. we have certainly seen Antoine and this offense work themselves out of this on plenty of occasions, and it's going to be a delay of game, so now it's 3rd and 28. I mean, if it's 3rd and 23, what's 3rd and 28, right?
5 more yards. That's never been the difference in a football game at all.
The biggest 3rd and 20 plus I ever saw converted was Ray Rice against the San Diego Chargers back in 2015. It was 3rd and 22, and Ray Rice picked up 22 and an inch. 3rd and 28 now for Edgecombe. Alone in the backfield, 5 wide receivers. Antoine in trouble. He's got to get rid of it. He does. Wide open, caught, backing into the end zone for a Fort Pierce Bengal touchdown is
Pass is caught in the end zone. Right
no
2.
Harold Miller. Miller got behind the defense. Is it 2 or 12?
Miller with the reception.
That's Harold. Harold Miller. What a play again by Antoine Edgecombe to roll out of trouble, stop, and cut it loose on 3rd and 28. It's a 48-yard touchdown. That's a beaut, Clark.
Had one of the defensive linemen for the Blue Devils yelling at the corner like, "How did he get by you?"
That reminded me of the Flacco to Jacoby Jones play. So the Bengals, 11 for Antoine Edgecombe with a big touchdown pass there. And inside, does he get in? He does. Storcher Smith again with the 2-point conversion. And it's 22-0. Oh, Fort Pierce Bengals. Bezzy, you'd be right. That's the new longest 3rd down conversion I've seen. That would be accurate. That was 3rd and 28. That beats the hell out of Ray's 3rd and 22. Onside kick and recovered at the 40 by the Blue Devils. I think for me to say that they need to get something going here would be the biggest understatement of the broadcast, Caleb. Just saying. You all right? What's wrong? What were you doing? Oh, I got you. Yep. Nope. I feel you. Okay. Thank you. No, appreciate that. Of course, Caleb did the East Coast Sharks this year of the ECFL, right? EAFL?
Yeah, yes. East Coast Sharks of the EAFL.
East Coast Sharks of the EAFL. 1st and 10 now at the 40 for the quarterback. And I would think for sure we're going to see a lot of this. Nice little touch ball, but he's 5 yards over the intended receiver's head, and it'll be 2nd and 10. Boy, the atmosphere is just bubbling. You know what I mean? It's like you can just see thunderstorms in the distance going, I'm coming. Hang in there, I'm coming. Yeah, that Polk County Rise and Daytona Bronco game should be a good one.
I know we got one Brevard County representative playing in that.
Who is that?
Can't think of his name. His name on Facebook is MK.
Kelly?
MK, either MK Kelly or MKST.
Okay.
We did the interview with him about the kids at the hotel.
I got you. Okay. Second and 10. And that ball is batted down. Good pressure from Fort Pierce. And in there again was Selma Jerome Jr. And on the other side coming in was Lorenzo Timothy. We're gonna hang around for a little bit. Yeah, I'd like to check a little of that game out. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're gonna run down the street real quick, grab a bite, and come on back. Third and 10, man in motion. New quarterback in there, actually. Running back gets outside. New quarterback is Sean Simmons, 21. At least that's what my roster says. There's a little push there, and a flag flies. So it'll be 15 yards. Whitehead throws the flag. And I only saw one push, so it should be against the Blue Devils if his personal foul. They're going to call that against Fort Pierce, so I'm not sure. I did not see what happened that warranted the push, but that goes one way there, and that'll be 15 yards and an automatic first down. 10-11 to play here in the first half, and it has been all Fort Pierce. Now, this is the second time that the Blue Devils have gotten across the midfield stripe for some reason. The last time they punted. In doing so, I would think this has got to be 4-down territory. Simmons, the quarterback. Drops back, looks to throw, does intercept it right into the hands. And this, if he can get outside and turn the corner, this could be pick six. And at the 30, 20, 15, 10, and brought down with a horse collar, no doubt, is Javon Brown. What? Nearly a pick six. See, here's what I'm going to say. If that's a horse collar, he should be awarded the touchdown.
Yes.
But he won't be because that's not the rule. That's just my crazy thinking. But Javon Brown with nearly a 70-yard return, tackled at the 5. They are in the second quarter. We are in the second quarter here. That has got to be against Central Florida, right? I mean, why is he even pointing the other way?
No, that ref is.
I'm saying, why is he even pointing this way? Nothing happened back here. I didn't see a flag back here. Did you?
No, I did not. But I'll tell you, the Broncos are hot, or Bengals are hot.
I can't wait to see this call. Let's see what he has to say here. Yeah. Personal foul, horse collar against the Blue Devils. Declined. Block in the back against, that's offsetting penalties. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Wait a minute, yeah.
That's a block in the back on the return. Okay? So they call a block in the back on the return and then a horse collar. The horse collar.
How can the horse collar be declared?
It can't be. They screwed that up. Both of those penalties happened post-interception, so it'll be Fort Pierce ball, but it should be Fort Pierce ball at the 15-yard line. That is terrible. Absolutely terrible. At the 45, Edgecombe. Knowles fakes the jet sweep, hands off to Storch Smith. Smith with blockers. Storch cuts back. Storch at the 20. 10, 5, touchdown! Ford Pierce. And one play, 50 yards, 45-yard, touchdown. Storch Smith having a game. So following one of the craziest calls I've seen.
And we've seen some crazy ones.
We have seen some crazy ones. So it's 28-0 with 8:35. There's a cash prize for this. $1,000 to the winning team. So that's good. That's 50 bucks a guy. Edgecombe throws, caught, 2 points. As Tommy Mitchell hauls it in, and with 8 minutes to play, and the clock ain't even stopping now, it's 30-0. Fort Pierce Bengals on top. Be right back with the kickoff.
All right. Here we go. Caleb Brown here taking over. Just for a couple plays, Allen stepping aside to handle something. And looks like a little squib kick. And that squib, that return will be brought out to about the 38-yard line. And the Blue Devils down 30-0 with 6:54. The clock has stopped. 6:54 left to play here in the first half. So here come the Blue Devils, 1st and 10.
First down and 10.
Devils come out in a 3-by-1 set. Running back sidecar left. Drops back. Tries to elude the pressure. Instead, he'll be taken down, and that'll be a sack.
Tackle in the backfield for quarterback sack.
That will be at least the 4th or 5th sack of the game for this Bengals defense. So once again now it's second down and repeating itself forever ago.
Second and long.
Officially about 18. Parsons in the gun, drops back. Looking, that ball tipped. And great job by the D-line there. Getting in and getting the hands up, knocking that ball down. It's now 3rd and 18 for the Blue Devils, deep inside their own territory. About the 36-yard line. Parsons gets the play. Two-by-two set. Running back sidecar left. Parsons looking, evades one tackler, and goes down, and that'll be another sack. I believe that's 6 for the game.
Yeah, the Bengals defense. Thank you, Caleb. I had to step away for a moment. Thank you, Caleb. Yeah, that Bengals defense is certainly got the eye and roar of the tiger tonight. 4th and, punting situation. And that means... All right, what do you need more of? BC said we need more of it on the broadcast. What did you deliver that we need more of? Oh, yeah, ring would be good if they would get them, that's for sure. Good snap. And that punt goes really nowhere. Out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. And the Bengals with 4:30 to play. Tight one here, 30-0. So the ball will be marked at the 45 of the Blue Devils. And I tell you what, they came with 22 today, and they came to play. The Fort Pierce Bengals did. Finishing blocks, tackles, plays. One mistake in the game. I want to say hello to Mr. Sears checking in. Ranch Ava Sears had him a good year. For sure. 30-0. Fort Pierce on top of Central Florida. Edgecombe now. At the beginning of the year, we kind of had like a couple different guys in that backfield. Injuries. Edgecombe way deep. Throws and just over the head of Cam Webb, who nearly had a touchdown in this one. But Storcher Smith really came out of that backfield. Sears as well with some carries. Sears was the guy that, man, he was just quick. When he got the ball in his hands, he was quick with it. First or second and 10 it should be, actually. Looked like a false start, but not called. Edgecombe, busted play, just gets rid of it. He's outside the pocket. There's the flag, so we'll see if they call. Look like the left side, or they're going to call offsides. I'll take it. I'll take it. I thought we had people moving, people not moving. Some didn't even move after the snap. This was a fun team to cover this year. It was a great environment down there on Saturday nights. It really was. I can't tell you enough how, like I said, when I tell you we have broadcast a lot of minor league adult football, we have.
Okay, so he called two fouls there.
What do you call?
He called offsides, and then he called intentional grounding.
So he called offsides and intentional grounding. So offsetting plays, we'll do it all over. And the Bengals have picked up a play because it should be 2nd and 10. Okay, now they flip the yardstick. So 2nd and 10 for Edgecombe with nice little ankle tackle there. The ball carrier that time looked like Rodney Matthew. .226 to go. Now they play NFL rules, so we'll stop for the 2-minute warning. And I'm sure if you're Central Florida, you would rather not, but they will. I don't mean to pick on them, but I mean it is 30-0. 3rd and 9 for Edgecombe, and this is where he likes to go down the middle of the field here. So keep your eye. When I say the middle of the field, right outside the hash marks. Edgecombe looks, he throws, he does, overshoots Cam Webb, and it'll be 4th and 9, and I can't see any reason why they would punt this football. Can you?
Edgecombe knew he was going to miss that because as soon as you released the ball, you heard a.
Yeah. I love coming up here and broadcasting. We have done various youth Super Bowls up here, a couple of high school games up here. We did a great football game up here once between Cocoa and Daytona Mainland. 4th and 9, Edgecombe. Steps up. He's across the line, so now he's got to go with it, and he'll slide wisely, just short of the first down. So it'll be a turnover on downs. 1:22 to play, so apparently they're not going to stop for the 2-minute warning, and I think that's okay with everybody. But they will stop the clock for the change of possession. Edgecombe was a little slow to get up there. And that was smart of him not to try to. It's the last game of the year. These guys, they work all week. They got families, Last thing you want to do, you got to carry your own insurance. Last thing you want to do is have to come out with a copay. You know what I'm saying? What are they doing over there? Cleaning up?
They're repainting.
Repainting, okay. I don't know what they're doing. Okay.
That's a lot of people to be picking up trash. So
Yeah, no, I don't see any brooms. All right, 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Quarterback, who I don't think is Matt Parsons. Not nearly as tall. Oh, nice backside pursuit and a tackle. How about that tackle there by Dominic Walker, the DB, who just comes flying in from the other side of the football field and said, "You think you got daylight? You don't see me." Under a minute to play here in the first half. 18 on the play clock. Yeah, I agree with Bezzy there. You gotta start running the football here. Just if for no other reason, keep that clock going. Nice solid tackle in the open field. Love the way the Bengals have come to play today. I think that's Sandrevius O'Neal over there on the stop. And that should be, who called a timeout? Central Florida Blue Devils take a timeout here with 12.3 seconds to play in the first half.
You know what? I don't mind this if you have something drawn up that you're like, you know what?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try something here, we'll see.
Last game of the season, we have a trick play. We've been wanting
Yeah.
That's the only reason I say you call the time.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're grasping at straws here, but if it's me, I'm just trying to get myself up in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? It's 30-0.
I'm not thinking smart.
I don't know why.
We've seen things like that.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I wouldn't do it. All right, so here comes something. Quarterback gets outside the pocket, And he just, yeah, okay. And that'll take us to the half here with the score: the Fort Pierce Bengals 30 and the Central Florida Blue Devils nothing. Coming up at halftime, absolutely nothing. We'll be back in 15 minutes here from Larry Kelly Field, Daytona Stadium. All right, ready for the second half kickoff. And by the way, the quarterback is Jose Trevino for the Central Florida Blue Devils, who, with just 30 minutes to go, need to score a point a minute and not give up any to tie this one as they trail 30-0 here. And they will be kicking off to the Fort Pierce Bengals, who really playing just a great game here today. And this one's going to go over the head of everybody and into the end zone. And the Fort Pierce Bengals will take over 1st and 10 at their own 25. So, and Antoine Edgecombe, who had an outstanding first half, leads the offense back out onto the field. He's got a touchdown pass, 2 of them, in fact. Harold Miller in. Edgecombe and Storchis Smith. It'll be doubles. Be 2 wide receivers split equally to each side. Storchis Smith to the right now of Edgecombe. First play of the second half. Knowles in motion. Busted play. And quickly picking up on it was Iberi Ohaya. And that'll be a loss of about 3. So it'll be 2nd and 13 now. 14:43 to play. So not a great start to the second half here. I'd like to thank hashtag Poolboy Mafia. You see them on the bottom of the screen. You got a pull, in ground, out of ground. Want a pull? Need a pull accessory. Need something fixed with a pull. Right there is where you need to call. 2nd and 14, make it. I believe Gridiron. What is it? Gridiron what? Gridiron Productions will have the championship game. There's the jet sweep, reverse, back. Nice play. Well executed. Ball's out. Still out. And still out and recovered by Central Florida. The ball was fumbled by Tommy Mitchell on the double reverse. It was originally a jet sweep to Speedy Knowles, who flipped it to Tommy Mitchell, who eventually lost the football. And the Central Florida Bulldogs recover the fumble, and they'll take over 1st and 10. That was about not the best looking of plays in this one. And Jose Trevino and the Central Florida Blue Devil offense now, with their best field position of the game, take over off the turnover, the 2nd of the day for Fort Pierce. 1st and 10 at the 24. Referee says wind the clock, please. 2 backs in the backfield. To the left is Marquise Clevero, and flags fly, and it'll be against Central Florida for delay of game. DOG. So it's 1st and 15, and a constant shooting of the foot by the Blue Devils, because they have played behind the sticks all day. A lot of it because of the play of that defense. And the ball's out again, and this time the running back will just fall on it, but hence they'll lose another 3 or 4 yards. And I would venture a guess, if I could have the official stats, to say that it would say a big negative in the yardage column for the Blue Devils today, as it is now 2nd and 20 for Central Florida. Oh, they're installing bleachers. That's what they're doing. They're installing new bleachers. Because there's none here, Sam. Look down. All right, so Trevino with two backs. And his little counter move here. And he goes absolutely nowhere as he is first popped rather violently by Storcha Smith. Look at Storcha coming in, playing a little defense. Or was it? Nope, check that. It was Javon Brown that came up and laid that hit. So now it stays 3rd and 20 for Central Florida and Jose Trevino. 12 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. It's been all Bengals in this one. Keep your eye on the slot guy here, far side, Darian Robinson. Trevino with Tyler Jones to his right. Trevino does throw, and he finds his intended target and touchdown. I just said keep your eye on Tyler Jones in the slot, and that's a touchdown for Central Florida. And could it be a tale of two halves here? Trevino to Jones on 3rd and 20, and it's 30-6. This ball snapped 3 feet over the head of Trevino, and the attempt on the extra point is no good. So with 11:33 to play, points off turnovers. They get 6 of them, do the Blue Devils, and it's 30-6. One of the easiest plays a quarterback can make is that slaughter guy out of the backfield on 3rd and long, and you always look for him. I can promise you as an old quarterback, one of the first places I looked was for that slot guy. I didn't care what his route was. I'd always tell him, 5 yards off the line of scrimmage, look back at me and don't stop running. If you ain't got nobody on you, the football is coming your way. Same thing for the running back. Throw a chip and get out in the flat. Rest is up to you. I'll get you the ball. Here's the kickoff, and that's an onside kick, and had to be. Oh, it's out, and I believe Central Florida's got it, and they do on the onside kick, and it's recovered by number 17, Calvin Fletcher, and the Blue Devils now with a little bit of life. As that ball bounced off of Zay Scott from 117 to another, as Calvin Fletcher recovers it, and right back in business comes Jose Trevino and the Central Florida Bulldog offense. As Yogi Berra used to say, it ain't over till it's over. And look, if you're looking for a light at the end of the tunnel, it's not a freight train for Central Florida. If the Fort Pierce Bengals can score 30 points and a half, well, theoretically speaking, why couldn't the Blue Devils? You certainly hope that doesn't happen as a Bengal fan. Trevino drops, rolls out of pressure, buying time. That'll come him back. That's a hold And that's an unnecessary flag because Trevino was out and running, and the hold didn't occur until he was 6 yards down the field. Do not understand why officials throw that flag. There was no hold that sprung Trevino. But they got to get on TV too, right? 11:18 to go, 30-6. Trevino's going to come off the field for a play here, and it's going to be a timeout by the Blue Devils right here. See him down on the sidelines? And he is bent over in a little bit of pain here. And see, that's the thing that, Trevino picks up yards. The hold occurs after he's 6 yards down the field. The official throws the flag. Your quarterback gets hurt. Even more frustrating as a coach. So a well-executed onside kick now, and it's now following the hold, 1st and 20 for the Blue Devils. And the timeout will at least ensure that Trevino, if he's able to come back in and play right now, can. But he is currently sitting on the sidelines, and they are calling for the teams. And coming in to play quarterback is going to be Sean Simmons. You can speak up. It is Parsons? Okay, not Trevino. Okay. Yeah, it's got to be a different Matt Parsons. Okay. Yeah, that's offsides. So it'll be 1st and 15 now. Yeah, because Parsons is like 6'8".
Yeah, and doesn't have the hair that
Right.
this Parsons does.
Right. Okay. But Matt Parsons is definitely sitting down on the sidelines right now with Sean Simmons in at quarterback.
Ball spotted at midfield.
I think you're going to see some Wildcat misdirection.
Okay. Caleb says some Wildcat misdirection coming up here. First and 15, 10:53 to play in the third. Simmons from the gun. Turns, gives, and a nice tackle inside by Sandravius O'Neal. And that'll be a gain of 2, 2nd and 13 now. See if Parsons comes back in. He's sitting on the bench, so I doubt it. Yeah, I see his name on the back now. It does say Parsons. See it? So the debate is settled. It's always a good thing. 2nd and 13 now. Simmons with 4 wide receivers, doubles, which means when I say doubles, that means you've got wide receivers essentially on both sides split equally. Simmons back to throw. He lets it go, and not exactly sure whom to, but it'll fall incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and 13 now. So the Blue Devils here on the verge of squandering an onside kick opportunity after a touchdown. And with 9:43 to play, I would think this is 4-down territory. Simmons from the gun, 4 wide receiver set. Little give up the middle, nowhere. He'll get, picked Picks up 5, so it'll be 4th and 9, 4th and 8. So 4th down and 8 now. Parsons gets up off the bench. Not sure if he's going to go back in or not. He's not. So it's up to Simmons to convert 4th and 8 for the Blue Devils here at the Fort Pierce 43 and a half yard line. 8:36 to play in the third, 30-6. Fort Pierce on top. Their second trip this season to Larry Kelly Field. They came up here earlier this year and were beaten by the Daytona Broncos, who are 9-1 and looking for their second consecutive FCFL championship tonight against the Polk County Rise. Flags fly, delay a game, and that'll back them up 5, so that 5 hard-earned yards on 3rd and 13 goes for naught, and that's just inexcusable. And it'll be 4th and 13 now. Flags again, false start, make it 4th and 18 now. And back, the Devils go. In my best Chris Berman voice. Back. And another flag. What's this one for? Unsportsmanlike conduct. I'll take them back 15 more yards. So now it'll be 4th and 33 now. And they went from 4th and 8 to 4th and 33 in the blink of an eye. Okay. So, yes, a punting situation it has become.
They're behind.
That does not help the overall yardage. So back deep is, of course, Speedy Knowles. He's standing at his own 25. That's a bad snap. Oh, my. Punter's going to run with it, and he's just bowling people over. They just keep pushing him forward. He needed 33. He got 31. I was cheering for him. I was absolutely cheering for him.
You don't get many opportunities.
Nah, but that's, on a bad snap, the punter needed 33, and he got 32. He's a yard short. 1st and 10 for Fort Pierce. First and 10. For Fort Pierce, and they certainly got lucky on that. I can tell you that right now. He just trucked about 4 Bengals. Edgecombe turns, gives Smith in trouble. And right out of his shoe comes somebody. What is that on the field? That's a glove. A glove. I thought he came out of his shoe. So Smith will lose 3 yards. And the Bengals look a little lethargic here with 6:10 to play in the third quarter after absolutely dominating in the first half. It's been all Central Florida here in the second half. The problem is, for Central Florida, the deficit right now is 24. Edgecombe from the shotgun. Looks to throw. He does. Tipped at the line. Incomplete. 3rd and 13 now. I'm sure this won't be the last time we come up here. We'll be back up here next year for, what was it, the ACY? Yeah, yeah. Them double FCC Youth Super Bowls, which was a 2-day event. We came up, had a blast. Stayed overnight, had a lot of fun. 3rd and 13 now for Edgecombe. Looks to throw. Across the middle, wide open, caught. Tommy Mitchell out across the 50, down to the 44-yard line. And Mitchell, slow getting up, but he's got a first down after a gain of 29 yards. Nice pitch and catch from Edgecombe to Mitchell. And Tommy says, I need a breather, and he's going to get one. So an outstanding 3rd down conversion by an Offensive Player of the Year nominee, Antoine Edgecombe. 1st and 10 now from the Blue Devil 44. Cam Webb split wide right. Look for a throw deep down the field to him. Edgecombe drops, lets it go, across the middle, caught. This is number 2. Harold Miller all the way down just outside the hashtag Pool Boy Mafia red zone. That's a gain of 23 and another Bengal first down. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 21. So now we got a little something cooking here with 3:48 to play, and the Bengals are 18 minutes and 45 seconds away from a $1,000 cash prize and a sponsor bowl championship here at Larry Kelly Field at Daytona Stadium. First and 10. And that's all kinds of offsides. So it'll be 1st and 5 now.
The tackle got knocked over, just laying one.
Yeah, he just went backwards, threw his hands up in the air, and was like, I need the rest. These quick passes are killing me. The big guys, you got to give them a breather.
Or as a big guy, let us know when we're going to go 10.
Right. Now definitely inside the hashtag Pool Boy Mafia red zone at the 16. Edgecombe looking for his, I believe, 3rd touchdown pass of the day. Miller in motion. Edgecombe back, looks, fires, throws, caught, out of the hands.
Off the hand of the receiver, incomplete.
And that's an incomplete pass. And that was, I tell you, a beautifully thrown football, well-timed, and dropped by Sandravius O'Neal, who's usually a cornerback. And, you know, there's a reason why he's not a full-time receiver, right? I mean, no disrespect, Sandravius, but they always say great DBs are receivers that have issues sometimes catching balls.
Inside handoff for a short gain. Flag on the field.
So we got a flag down here. But I like the fact that he's out there trying to catch some passes. I do like that. Sandravius had a great season in that defensive secondary for Fort Pierce. Big Meech on the field wanting to know what's up. And it'll be 2nd and 5. I don't see any ball movement or actually it's going 5 yards forward. I missed what the call was. So it'll be 1st and goal now from the 8 inside the hashtag Pool Boy Mafia red zone. As Edgecombe from the gun with Rodney Matthew to his left. Speedy Knowles in the slot to the left. And Harold Miller in the slot to the right with Cam Webb on the outside to give is to the running back. Turns, spins. Does he get in? He does! Touchdown! Fort Pierce Bengals. Second effort by Rodney Matthew there. I believe that was number 12. Is that 12? Yeah, Rodney Matthew with a touchdown. And with 1:11 to play, it's 36-6. Indeed it was. Rodney Matthew. And they'll go for 2, and that pretty much kills any attempted rally by Central Florida as Edgecombe on a huge third down and long converted that pass play. Edgecombe looks, throws, caught. Nice play. Knowles hauls it in for the 2-point conversion, and that'll take us to the end of the third quarter with your score. Fort Pierce 38, Central Florida 6.
All right, so here come the Bengals. Start the fourth quarter, and the clock's already running. Kick, return from about the 25-yard line. He's got some room. He's got an alley. But then the Bengals kick return team, or kick team, drops him at the 50-yard line. The return was by number 22, Marquise Cleaver. So for the Blue Devils, running clock coming up on 14 minutes left in the game. As Alan said, it's been a fun year covering the Bengals. I loved every trip I took down with Alan down to Fort Pierce, Khalil Mack Field. Parsons looks like he's back in the game. Drops back, surveying, fires, and it's going to be caught for a small little gain before being wrapped up by Bengals defenders. Number 11, they say Knowles is on the reception. Do not have a number 11 for the Blue Devils. That'll bring up second down and about 4 to go. Nice little out pass. Parsons brings the Blue Devils to the line. Parsons in a 2x2, drops back, surveying, and he will be brought down again. That Bengals defense said they came to hunt today. And they have pounced on Parsons at every opportunity. That's at least sack number 8 or 9 for this defense today. I mean, they hunt in a pack. Blue Devils, that'll bring up third down, and once again, they're behind the sticks. It was a huge loss. It's now third and about 13 for the Blue Devils. Knowles for the Blue Devils. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. 1 to the near side. Parsons drops back, steps up, fires, taking a deep shot, and it's going to be intercepted. Stays in bounds. Harold Miller going down the sideline. There are 2 flags back where the interception occurred. And I have a feeling this return is coming back. There they are, the 2 flags. But what an interception by Harold Miller. And we're waiting for White Hat's call. Helmet to helmet. And it's a first down for Fort Pierce. So because the helmet-to-helmet contact happened after the interception, looks like there was a miscommunication there between Parsons and his receiver. And Harold Miller was the only one back there saying, I'll take that. And way to keep himself in bounds, too. Almost pulling a balancing act there on the sideline. So Edgecombe hands off, and that'll be about a couple of yards.
All righty, thank you, Caleb. Harold Miller with the nice interception there. Tightly walking the sideline on the pick. 9:33 to go, and the clock is not stopping, and quite honestly, it shouldn't. A 32-point Fort Pierce lead here, and arguably their best football game of the year. And why not save it for the game when you're going to pick up a grand, right? If you can't pick up the chip, then you pick up a grand. Pick up a bag. If you can't pick up a chip, pick up a bag, right? And the Fort Pierce Bengals will do that in 9 minutes. Big hole. Closes quickly, but finding his way through it for a gain of close to 10 is Rodney Matthew. So the gain of about 9. Yard marker showing third down. And 1 yard to go here. 8:13 to play. $2,000 says pressure Forte. So $2,000. Okay. Got a flag down. False start. So it'll be 3rd and 6 now. $2,000. Where'd you get $1,000 at? Oh. Yeah, definitely take that. About $100 a player, yeah. Not bad for a couple hours work. Edgecombe, little pass out in the flat there. Caught by Matthew, cuts back. Matthew still on his feet. Look at the moves. Out across to the 50, down to the 48-yard line. Nice play by Matthew. And Rodney Matthew showing
Near midfield.
some skills out of the backfield today,
That's good for a Bengals first down.
along with his ability to play in that secondary. 6:55 to play. First down and 10. We want to thank our sponsors, the Fort Pierce Bengals, of course, and we want to thank hashtag Poolboy Mafia and Big Trouble Loyalty Bail Bonds. You've seen them all year at the bottom of the screen. Turns, gives. I believe this is Storcha Smith. And it is. Smith will pick up close to a first down. 2nd and 1. 6 minutes to go in the game. So the Bengals looking to put a 40 spot on the board here.
That's good for a Bengals first down.
With 5:50 to go. Make sure you jump on over to Gridiron Productions tonight for the championship game between the Daytona Broncos and the Polk County Rise. Edgecombe looks to throw. Nice. Caught. Up. It should be a touchdown, and it will be a touchdown. Outstanding pitch and catch. Cam Webb finally gets his touchdown today, and that is a 38-yard strike from Edgecombe to Webb, and it's 44-6. Webb was not touched as he went down to get the football, and he got back up and had the sense of mind to get into the end zone. And Cam Webb, who nearly scored back in the first quarter, gets his postseason or bowl game touchdown, I should say. And we'll do it one more time officially. Touchdown, Fort Pierce Bengals. And the lead is 38. Looking for a solid 40-point lead here with a 2-point conversion. See if they go with Knowles again. No, little lob pass out, and nobody home. And flipping into the end zone is Storcha Smith. And with 4:20 to play, it is a 46-6 lead. All right, 3:30 to go. The clock's still running, and that's a smart thing. You know, let the clock run out. It's a 40-point lead. You don't want to see these guys get hurt. But I want to spend the rest of the broadcast talking about and thanking the Fort Pierce Bengals. So I'm just going to go down and just read the roster because I don't get a chance to mention all of the guys' names, and so I just want to do it. If they're on my roster, I'm going to say the names. So bear with me here. We got Darrell Watkins, Speedy Knowles, Harold Miller, Ranchavius Sears, Deontay Gray, Kendrick Gaskin, Antoine Edgecombe, Mike Brown, Sean Forte, Cameron Webb, Arl Bray Owens, Rodney Matthew, Jermonte Hunter, Tommy Mitchell, Dominic Walker, Rodney Jones, Zay Scott, Quentin Dixon, Dontravius Joseph, Chris Wallace, Sandravius O'Neill, Matthew Smith, Storcha Smith, Javon Brown, Abdias Joseph, Alex Washington, Ted Lucian, Torrey Howard, Justin Walther, Lorenzo Timothy, Willie Boston, Jonathan Tucker, Patrick Dusenard, Pete McGew, Lafayette Ashley, DeQuan Harris, Antavian Lee, Travis Austin, Nathaniel Whitty, Stephen Jean Contieri, Rodney Ulysses, Greg Goodman, Dylan Hudman, Javar Drayton, Selma Jerome Jr., Deion Thomas, LeGarren Richardson, Thomas Fulton, Michael James, Demetrius Anderson, Deion Swales, Jerome Griffin, and Tommy Johnson are the players. Your coaching staff, Robert Carter, Earl Demery, Big Meats, John Chandler, Cody Neese, and Lou Pierno. According to what I have from the FCFL, that makes up your 2023 Fort Pierce Bengals, who were, I would say, by every measuring stick, had an outstanding first season back here in the FCFL. They're going to finish the year at 6-4-1. They're going to go 3-1-1 in the division. And it was just a really good year and a lot of fun. And congratulations to Big Meech and the entire organization on this run this year. And I tell you what, if the Broncos can win tonight, they'll win their second consecutive championship. Polk County, of course, beat Fort Pierce twice this year. They were both good football games. That will be fun to keep an eye on next year, because this will be a very good Bengals team and a team that's got a lot to build on. Under a minute to go in the sponsor bowl handoff, and that should be the last play of the game, no doubt, I think. As did he throw a flag? Doesn't matter, because the clock's running anyway. Under 30 seconds to go. Enjoy the championship game tonight. Our sponsor bowl MVP tonight is going to be Antoine Edgecombe. Antoine with a great game. He will be our Pool Boy Mafia and Big Trouble Loyalty Bail Bond player of the game. And so for Caleb Brown, for Big Meech, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski. It's been an absolute pleasure to deliver the 2023 Fort Pierce Bengals football schedule to you this year, and we look forward to hopefully coming back next year. Once again, your final score from Larry Kelly Field at Daytona Stadium. It is Fort Pierce 46 and the Central Florida Blue Devils 6. Good luck tonight to the Daytona Broncos and the Polk County Rise. Have a great night, everybody, and, well, you know the drill. Make it a sports night.